No one really wants to know the truth. Even if they believe you, nobody actually cares to know how you're doing. So tell them you're fine. Spare them of their empathy. Lie to yourself every morning. Because even if you work a blood-sucking job in a blood-sucking city, and everyone you've ever cared about has already forgotten you, and the only piece of you that's left, that fragile, naked piece of you, that's everything you are and everything you want to be, no longer inspires you, but terrifies you. Because it's a daily reminder that even if you are good enough, you will never amount to anything. So lie there, alone, surrounded by people, and accept the fact that the one thing you were born to do, you weren't. Simply because you were not supposed to. So lie and endure, because that's easier than knowing the truth. There is no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And even if there was, someone else got to it first. So I guess when someone asks you how you're doing, simply tell them, I don't know.
Feedback? Yeah.
This was a really intense monologue, and I liked how intense it was. I will say, you come off more intense and more angry when you stand up straight. Because in the beginning, you kind of hunched over, or you had this kind of bend to your knees. Yeah, I think it's just better. It felt like you were trying to come to us rather than just standing there and being upset and bringing the audience into you.
Yeah, that's also very musical theater singer, I feel like, when they sing the big thing and they're like, oh, like, nah, you know what I mean? They do like the little Disney knees and stuff. Yeah. So just staying mindful of that and keeping your presence open. Also, again, like Septa said, it is a really intense monologue. I think the last line, I don't know, I mean, the monologue's called IDK, that kind of felt open-ended to me. I know the laugh was to signify, like, I don't know, but I almost wish that ending was a little bit more concrete, because you're making this big point the entire time, and I feel like that's kind of the ribbon on it, so I wish it felt a little more ribbony. If that, yeah, it does make sense.
I agree with Sage. I also think that it was very, up here the whole time. I would have liked it to dial in a little bit. Yeah. Because you're alone. You're by yourself. So when you're alone, you're not as like this. I just mean not for the entire monologue, you know? Yeah, for that to really like sink in that you're this much.
Anything, Teddy?
I was thinking the same thing as Maya. I do think that the dynamics, however, were a little bit improved from last time, because last time it was really all one thing. But I think it could be a little bit even more tuned in to having some parts bigger and smaller and like that. Because even though you are talking to yourself, obviously this monologue has high points and it's very intense. But I think just the same thing as Maya, like it could be more having different dynamics.
What's your feelings about your critiques?
Okay. I appreciate them all. I think with the ribbon, at the end, it makes sense for the term of like a monologue, but I prefer having the I don't know, because I must not have made it visual enough with my body language, but I wanted it to be kind of sucking back and being like, just say I don't know. But I do know. I just told you, I do know exactly what's wrong with me. All of what I just told you. So clearly when I say, I don't know, that's a big old lie. Look at me, I'm lying at you. Again. Because that's what the whole thing is about. And then, it makes sense. This is standing upright. I can totally do the monologue with the same amount of intention and purpose without making myself smaller. And I don't know. I don't know. That's funny. I didn't even know I made that connection. But with yelling or being louder or keeping it at this thing, it's just it's such a frustrating thing to talk about. The topic of the monologue, because I obviously I relate to it at least a little bit, but. So I imagine myself explaining this, and I thought of every time I've ever been in an argument with myself or with an actual person. You guys haven't seen it, but like I can get mad, and I am pretty angry. So I was imagining myself like, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, while Hugh was here, we were trying to like film his self-tape, but I wanted to film my thing, and he was filming his thing. So we got in an argument. And Hugh actually was like, do you see what you look like right now? And I was like, no! And he pulled out the camera, and there's like I'm literally making this face at him. Like the most, you're a dumbass, like facial expression. And so I wanted to just do that in my monologue. And just, because that's what I'm doing.
You did.
Obviously, this person I'm talking to, like, when I'm saying nobody cares to know the truth, it's like, that should be you should know that. You should know that that's what everybody does.
Yeah. So here's my feeling about what we're talking about. I have to watch the monologue and make myself understand that this is his character. The characters with the slump, the characters with the voice, the characters with everything. That's his character, and that's who he's playing with this. And I have to make the choice that that's what he wants us to see. What I'm hearing from some of you is that you'd like him to make a different choice as a character. You'd like him to stand up. You'd like his voice not to be so high-pitched. You'd like all those things to happen, but that's not who this character is. Mm-hmm. So I think we have to be careful to separate our critique from what we're seeing and who his character is. This person that's standing before us and doing all that stuff, that's it. That's what we're getting. With how can we make the monologue work better? If he stands up straighter, that's not who that character is anymore. Right? If he lowers his voice to a different pitch, that's not who that character is anymore. So I think it's difficult to make a critique of something like that where you're saying if you stand up, you'll be more powerful. I think this is what he wants to deliver, and his explanation about what he did makes it clear that the choices he made were those choices. So, and it's hard to make a critique out of that, because what we end up doing is saying, if I were doing, I might do this. And that's not what he's doing. That's not who his character is, I think. So I think here would be my critique. Is there another Gregor than the one we're seeing? Because this Gregor is very much like the lawyer in Fledermaus.
Yeah.
Is there another Gregor? Or is this musical theater, put it out there, spread the legs out and sing it loud, is that the only Gregor there is? Is it so connected to that part of theater that we can't take it someplace else and see something else? So if we had more class time, I'd say do a different monologue. And I'd say do a quiet monologue, do this or do that, so that do a more serious, not that this isn't serious, a more in-depth piece of work around a different subject to see if we get a different grader. So that would be my question.
I didn't even think about that, but when I was the lawyer, I was like, ooh, I don't.
Yes.
This is like my thing.
It is your thing.
In this one, I was like, still doing those.
Yes, it is your thing, and so that would be my question. My question is, are we just saying stock Gregor, and if we did 2 other monologues, would we see the same thing? Or is there an actor in there? Because with this monologue, he's made a choice, I think, but I'm not sure because I've seen that before. So I'm not sure that he's made a choice. Maybe just who he is when he's on stage and out there. So, do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think you do. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. But you know, given this monologue and what it is, and I if you chose this character and this is who you meant to be, then I thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And if we made you do this monologue in a different way, standing up straight and being more serious, kind of intellectualized version of this, what would it be?
Do you want me to do it? Like try
You
it?
can try it if you like. No, I think let's set you as a different person.
Okay.
You're a professor in a class, and you're giving a lecture around the philosophy of how are you?
Okay.
And we're your class.
No one really wants to know the truth. Whether they believe it or not, no one actually cares to know how you're doing. So tell them you're fine. Spare them of their empathy. Lie to yourself every morning. Because even if you work a blood-sucking job in a blood-sucking city, everyone you've ever cared about has already forgotten you. The one piece of you, the fragile, naked piece, that's everything you are and everything you want to be, no longer inspires you, but terrifies you. Because it's a daily reminder that even if you are good enough, you will never amount to anything. So lie there, alone, surrounded by people, and accept the fact that the one thing you were born to do, you were not supposed to. So lie, suffer, endure, because that's easier than knowing the truth. There is no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And even if there was, somebody else got to it first. Or, when someone asks you how you're doing, you can simply tell them, I don't know.
Broke your frame too early.
Oh, shit.
Interesting. Interesting exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it changed all the yous to now I'm actually talking to people.
Right.
Versus the you being about myself. The you is actually about you. I'm a philosopher. I know myself very well. You guys don't.
So, you know, this is an interesting thing to do with all kinds of stuff. Just put a different face on. Decide to choose a different character, a different setting, and do the monologue in the same, under those conditions. And oftentimes you'll find things in that you wouldn't have discovered had you stayed in one area. So, good. I thought you did that pretty well. You still tend to use a kind of quick, you know, instead of staying in in yourself more, staying in you, and staying in that. I would have liked this to be even taller, even more contained.
It's really, really funny that you say that, because I don't remember, it was before Thanksgiving sometime. I was like, it was when we did last time we did monologues, or maybe it was even pantomimes, but Sage said that I move really quick if I'm doing like a bit, or like a joke or something.
Right.
And I guess I do that when I'm acting too. It's just like a
Yes.
picture.
Exactly. So that's why I would have liked you to stay tall, keep your chest out, and stay in yourself. Stay over your hips, stay over your feet, so that you don't get any of this stuff going on. Because that all is very musical theater. It's a kind of musical theater that is pervasive a lot, I think, and you get kind of like, oh, do I really have to look at that again? So that would be very good for you to practice that side of it. Yeah, good.